Okay, filleting a trout.
Hey, wait, ready? Let's get this going. Okay, first, who I am, you're Don, right?
Don Norquest.
Hey, I'll tell you when.
Navajo
Ready,
Lake.
set.
Hi, I'm Don Norquest at Navajo Lake. That's Navajo Lake. I'm going to show you how to fillet a trout today. Okay, first cut is alongside of the gills and right to the backbone. Then I take the tip of this very sharp knife and I stick it into the fish and I cut right along the top side of the, there's a whole row of bones that goes right along here that comes off the backbone. I cut on this side of the top side of the fish, on the top side of that set of bones, all the way to the tail. Very sharp knife. Then I continue to cut till I cut down to the backbone. Then I start cutting along the rib cage with this very sharp tip. And what I'm doing is feeling that rib cage, the fish's rib cage, all the way down. And as I'm cutting, now you can see the skeleton of that fish. You see these bones in the top and you see this bone through the middle of the fish. And I continue cutting that off, right down the rib cage, all the way down. Then I take the point of the knife and I put it right through there, and I cut that off, and I open the fish up, and I cut right along the belly, right along that, just on the top side of that fin right there, called a pectoral, and I cut that off. Now I've got a slab of trout, and the next thing I want to do is I want to skin it. So using this very sharp knife, I hold the skin, I start the blade, and I cut the meat right off the skin. And I use the fork to hold the skin. And what's left is a piece of fish with no bones in it. I put that in the water. Now you notice I'm left-handed. A right-hander is going to do this exactly the opposite of what I do. But I turn the fish over, I get a hold of it in the gill like that, and I take the knife and I cut like that, and I cut through. Then I take this part of the knife blade, because now I'm going to be cutting through the bones along the backbone of this side, and I don't want to dull this part of my knife, so I just use this edge, and I go right down the fish. And I take it off. Now I flip this over, and I have that half of the fish. This part of the fish goes in the bucket, and this part of the fish, now what's left on this fish is, what's left is the pectoral fins and this rib cage, because I cut through this rib cage. And the reason I did that, because it's really hard to try and take a knife and do the same cut on this side when the other half of the fish is already gone. So I really simply, I just cut this part of the fish off. Then I take the point of the knife right at that rib cage, and I cut right along that, and then I watch my knife, and you can see right through the rib cage. You can see your knife blade, and I peel that rib cage out. When I get down to here, I cut this back fin, has bones coming up too. I get underneath that, and I take the knife and I just cut right along here, and I've taken that off. And all I'm left with is sticky newspaper, is that half a fish. And I skin this. And the fish is done. And what we're left with is This is a very small trout, but we're left with two nice pieces of fish. They cook really fast, and they taste really good. 3 minutes is what it takes to do a fish. Once you get the hang of it and you practice a little bit, 3 minutes, a fish. Okay.